This is Into the Fire.
It's a collar, right?
Yeah, I forgot to.
Good. There you go.
Thank you.
Always make sure you're looking smooth, kid. You don't know when one of these babies going viral. And when it go viral, you want to make sure you're looking clean.
Alright, I'll remember
Gotcha.
that. Okay. I'm so thankful and excited to welcome to Into the Fire the man with the most incredible story, the brash, outspoken, but down to earth and real, the best thing that's happened to commentary in Australia, Corey Homicide Williams.
Man!
Meet you, Corey.
Let me tell you something. First of all, that is the best intro I've ever had working in Australia. I promise you. I'm not blowing up smoke up your behind.
Okay.
That was the best. I appreciate that. Carry on.
Okay.
Man, thank you. That was incredible.
No worries.
You made that up yourself?
Yeah.
Man, thanks, man. You really got a future in this thing. Go ahead.
You grew up in New York City, in the Bronx, with no money, drugs all around you, but rose above all of that to become a quality guy. Just wanted to say you should be very proud of what you've become.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was growing up tough in New York City, you know, in the Bronx I was from. That was an area that's really, really tough, especially growing up in the 80s and the 90s. There was a lot of wild things going on. The area was drug infested. There was a lot of crime. And lucky for me, I grew up in a house that had love, you know, and we had discipline. So, you know, growing up, I knew right from wrong, luckily. But there was a lot of people that did not grow up in a household with love. So thank God for my family and my mom especially.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you played soccer when you were young. How good were you?
I was not good at all. Trust me, I just played. I was like just one of the guys where they play in the neighborhood. My family's Jamaican, so in the summer times I would go down in the summer to Jamaica, you know, for the whole summer and see my family and spend time with my family down there. So the little kids in Jamaica, they played soccer and I wanted to play around with them, so I played like that. But it was nothing like A-grade soccer or no club or anything like that. Yeah.
Still sounds like fun though.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah. You started playing basketball at 12. How much effort did it require to catch up to the other kids?
It took so much effort because in New York City, everybody plays basketball. I mean, you know, in LA, everybody's an actor or a model. In New York City, that's all we do. So there were so many talented young players, and it took forever to catch up. I was fortunate to go to the #1 high school for basketball in America. And I didn't go for basketball, my skills. I went for disciplinarian reasons. My mother said, you're causing too much trouble in middle school. I'm going to put you in an all-boys Catholic school. You have to wear every day a blazer and a collared shirt with shoes and slacks. The same thing that you have on every day. And I had to be held accountable for my behavior. And once I had to be held accountable, my grades went great. Like I was more focused on school, and you know, you took the girls out the way. I had nothing else to do but focus on my classes and basketball. And that's when I started to get better, when I had a lot of better talent around me. I had no choice but to play harder and work on the things that I were not good at, because these guys were so good and so much in sport. When you are on a team, nobody wants to be the worst guy on the team, because sometimes they respect you based on your talent and your skills. So I always wanted to be able to work hard so I would get respect.
Yeah, well, your grades must have been good. You got a great job.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure, because school is extremely important. Without education, you won't amount to anything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to have basic education. You have to graduate high school. You have to graduate college, or you won't get any kind of job. No one's hiring you if you don't have a college degree or a high school diploma. So it's very important to make sure you graduate. And I have both.
Yeah, that's true. You went to junior college. Knowing if you did well, it could have really opened up opportunities for you. You even wrote your own NCAA applications. I know you've always been determined, but was there ever a time where it was just getting too hard?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't really, at that age, I was a late bloomer. I wasn't really the guy where coaches are calling for me, offering scholarships. I had to go to junior college first. If you don't understand what junior college is, for those of you watching, it's a 2-year college. So you go there, you develop your skills, your GPA, you work on your education, get your GPA higher, so when you graduate there, you'll probably get an offer to go to a four-year university to finish up your junior and senior year. And that's what I had to do to get a better offer to go to a four-year university. So I graduated junior college first, and I wrote a lot of schools. Usually you get letters from schools that are interested in you. I didn't wait for schools to write me. I wrote schools to let them know, hey, I'm here. You know, this is what I average. This is what's going on. Here's some game film. If you're interested, come check me out.
Yes.
And I was a go-getter. You know, just like I respect what you're doing right now. If you keep on this path, you seem very passionate, and this is something that you really want to do. You know, look at how you dress. Dress how you want to be addressed. It's very appropriate. If you walk around in the streets looking like a bum, how are people going to treat you? Like a bum. If you go around looking professional, people are going to approach you that way because you take pride in how you look. How can I not give you my undivided attention right now? How can I not? You came with your notes, you came focused, you did your research, and you spitting out facts. You know what I mean? That's admirable. Keep doing what you're doing. There is no way you will fail. Listen to me. There's no way you will fail.
Yeah,
There is no way you are going to fail. I want you to understand this from a guy that does this. I do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking how prepared you are at your age. That's mind-blowing, man. I respect that. But let's keep going. You know, there was times where it was hard for me. It was hard a lot, but I knew what I wanted to do. I have a no plan B mentality. Meaning, this is what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I don't care how hard it is. This is what you said you wanted to do. Anything worth having in life is going to be difficult to get. If you can get it easy, it won't last. Because if you get it easy, everybody could have it. Where's the worth in that? If everybody can have it.
Yeah, very true.
There you go. So I knew what I wanted to do, so I didn't stop at anything. And it got hard, but it was okay. Blood, sweat, and tears to be sitting where I'm at.
Yeah, that's
Blood,
really
sweat, and tears. Believe me, plenty of sleepless nights, plenty of nights playing basketball professionally. After I made it playing pro, getting paid to do what I love to do every day, it was still difficult. You know, there were moments where, you know, am I going to be able to play again? Will I get another job? Will this agent get me a job? Why is no teams calling me? Then it was the flip side where I had 4 or 5 options. You know what I'm saying? The point is you got to persevere when it gets tough. You know what I mean? Because if you persevere and work hard enough, it will get easy at some point for you.
Alright, thanks for that. You got a college degree. Congrats, mate.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I had 2 degrees, actually. I went to junior college first, so when I graduated there, I got a 2-year degree. It's an associate's degree in arts, which is general studies. Then when I went to Alabama State University, the 4-year uni, finished my junior and senior year, I graduated with a degree in criminal justice. And I specialized in juvenile justice. As you said earlier, I come from a place where it's drug infested and there's a lot of poor people and people that don't make it. That's just the reality. And I found a way and a path early, like you, early enough to where I was focused and disciplined enough to follow my dreams and go get what I wanted. Everybody doesn't have that ability to. So I feel at the age, when you hit about 13 to 17, that's a high risk age. That's when there's peer pressure. That's when you're introduced to other things that are outside your household. You know what I mean? That's where you're going to uni or you're going to high school, and guess what? Your parents aren't with you every day. So now it's very important to decide who you're going to hang out with. Who are your friends going to be? Peer pressure, bullying, where guys will be like, yo, you need to hang with us. If you don't hang with us, you're a punk. You're a clown. They might say that in front of the girl you might like, or your friends that you like, and you don't want to feel embarrassed, so you may fall into peer pressure and do what they do, and it's not right. So, you know, those are the ages I wanted to talk to with my degree, and my minor was juvenile justice. I wanted to talk to those kids. Go back into the community and talk to those kids to tell them that's not the cool thing to do. Do what you want to do. Don't fall under peer pressure, because those guys who think they're cool, they ain't going to amount to nothing in life. Because if you're doing negative things, what's going to happen in life? Negative things. You do positive things, what's going to happen in life?
positive thing.
There you go. It's that simple. But when you don't have anybody outside of your household, when you're making these decisions, you know what I mean? You don't want to seem uncool in front of these kids. But if you have your head swiveled on in the right direction and you focused already on what you want to do, it won't even bother you. So a lot of kids need people to talk to them like that, to remind them.
Yeah,
so that's why I got the degree in that manner. That's why I got that degree.
Yeah, that's great of you to do that. You finished college and didn't sign up for a job. You didn't go on to play for professional basketball. Instead, you started your own white men can't jump movie, Street Ball. That's where you got the name Homicide, wasn't it? Andrew Bogut could have paid me to find out that information.
That's right, Bogut could have paid you to find out that, right? But yeah, you know, I graduated college and I didn't have a big name or a big reputation. And street basketball in New York is huge. This is where a lot of players that never make the NBA, they're so talented, but they still couldn't make the NBA. They play in street basketball, right? Then you have guys in the summertime that play overseas, like me or a lot of guys in the NBL. In the summertime, they want to play there because they come from these areas, so they like to come back and play in playground basketball. Then you have guys in the NBA that come from, you know, inner cities and want to play in the summertime too. So when you have all of that talent, there's opportunity if you're smart enough to realize that. For example, I knew at that point I couldn't get into the NBA that day, that time, because I wasn't good enough. But I felt that if I could dominate street basketball with all of this talent, I should be able to get a good professional agent and get a job overseas somewhere. But I felt that I could get to the NBA. As a street ball player, if you go to an NBA facility, you are not going to be treated like an NBA player because they're going to look at you with the stigma as you're a street baller. In that venue, you can't take all the shots. You're not going to get all the playing time. You'll be a bench warmer. But when the NBA players come and play street ball, you get all the shots. You play the whole game. That makes the matchup even. So for example, the biggest name at the time, and I'm talking 2005, you weren't even a thought, pretty sure. I had an opportunity to play against Ron Artest when he was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. Back then, his name wasn't Metta World Peace, his name was Ron Artest, and he played with the Indiana Pacers, and he got the most prestigious award for a defensive player. He got the Defensive Player of the Year. But he comes from Queens, New York. He comes from the project, kind of like the place where, Commission Homes, kind of like where I grew up, a rough area, right? They brought him on the other team to defend me. I was averaging about 30, 33 points a game, every game. So they figured if they brought Ron Artest in to stop me, they would win the game. I scored 27 points on the Defensive Player of the Year, and they were calling for double teams to stop me. I would not have had an opportunity to do that in an NBA practice facility because I would not have the respect to demand the ball, take that many shots, and get that much playing time. So we would have never seen that result in an NBA venue. But in a street ball venue, because of the respect that I had, I was able to do these things. I would score on a lot of NBA players 30 and 40 points. So my name and the legend of Homicide grew because they heard of me killing NBA players. We don't say in New York City, oh, you outplayed this guy, you smashed him. We give you a name based on your style of play. So the more I played harder, they say he's killing them. He's murdering the competition. Anybody you put on him, he's gonna kill him. That's how I got the name Homicide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I got a shot to the NBA with the Toronto Raptors. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. All your street ball games culminated in 2004, playing NBA's Ron Artest in the playoffs at Rucker Park. You went 27 on him. I'm surprised he didn't kill you. He was one angry player. How do you feel that you were the man who stopped world peace?
Well, the thing is this. To people who do not come from the areas, the inner city of New York, if you have a New York City mentality, that's not scary because we come from the same place. You understand what I'm saying? So a couple of times he blocked my shot. And he's like, get that shit out of here. I said, I'm coming right back. So guess what? His tactic that would scare people didn't scare me. You got what I'm saying? I came right back in his face like, let's go. So okay, if that tactic didn't work, then what you got? We got an even ball game. You know what I mean? We got at the end of the game, a double team is coming to help the defensive player of the year to try and stop me. That's ultimate respect right there. So mentally, I left from that game. I got MVP of Rucker that summer, which is the #1 tournament in the world. The best street ball tournament in the world. That's what Rucker Park was. Anytime there's street ball anywhere else in the world, everybody wants to be like Rucker Park. And Rucker Park is basically the outdoor Madison Square Garden in New York. Everybody played there. LeBron, Kobe, you name it. Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, you name, all NBA players came out there and played in the tournament. So there's so much talent that came there. But I was very fortunate to get an opportunity at the time to get a shot directly from the park to the NBA.
Did you play with any of those NBA players?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to play with Chris Bosh with the Toronto Raptors. I played with Carmelo Anthony in Denver Nuggets. I went to training camp with them. Jalen Rose, that was the year Kobe gave him 82 points. It was the team sucked, but then I got waived, and then I started getting a better agent overseas, and I got better opportunities overseas. So, you know, in terms of my journey, no one's journey is the same. I don't know what your journey is going to be, but it's going to be a great one because you're on the right path early. But everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is the same. Don't let nobody else define what your win is going to look like. Now, people could say, you say you're so good, you didn't make the NBA. NBA wasn't for me. Guess what was for me? The opportunity to get a shot to the NBA. Didn't make it, but now on my resume, my CV, it said, he went to training camp. He played preseason in the NBA. What does that do? Get me a better agent. Did I have any good agents before? No, I didn't. But because it is, they see me. He's on a level of an elite NBA, elite player. He can play overseas and get a better job. I played 14 years professionally. All right. I came to Australia, played 4 years. Got lucky to get the MVP of the league. Was one of the better players in the league at the time when I was here for 4 years. I left, went and played in the Middle East. I got hired now after, I retired after I got hired to be an analyst full-time for the NBL. Now, I don't know anybody in my era that when they finished playing basketball as an import player, got hired to be an analyst for a professional league. So that's my path. You get what I'm saying? That's my win. I will never let anybody define my win for me. This is incredible. I don't do anything different than Stephen A. Smith. I don't do anything different than Jalen Rose. I don't do anything different than Max Kellerman or Skip Bayless. You get what I'm saying? They're doing the same thing. They're just covering a different league. I got the luxury of covering the hottest league in the world outside the NBA. You get what I'm saying? Doing what I love to do. Doing it my way. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty cool. When you sum it up and look at it like that, that's a win. Go ahead, keep going.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah.
In 2005, you were New York City's best one-on-one player, winning you in the process a 2005 Toyota Camry. Ferraris must have been out of stock that week. And New York Knicks season tickets. Were they good seats?
Yeah, they were real good seats. One thing I always prided myself on was allowing nobody one-on-one to stop you. And in the city of New York, everybody has a big, nice, good one-on-one game. But the fear that I was instilling in the competition just by walking in the playground, they like, damn, we gotta guard this guy. Like they were already scared before we started playing. So I knew, and that's 5-on-5. So one-on-one, if you couldn't stop me one-on-one with help on the court, how you gonna stop me one-on-one and there's just no help? There's no way. So there was no way I was gonna allow myself to not win those tournaments. I won a couple of tournaments. There was a lot of big money tournaments one-on-one back in those days, you know, 50,000, 20,000. I was winning them all. Some underground games, you know. This one was on top of run. This was in the Madison Square Garden, but there was a bunch of other games. Like, it was a good time back in those days playing street ball.
Yeah, pretty good win. And $3,000, but most importantly, an invite to the training with the Raptors. You were the very last person cut. How devastating was that?
Well, this is how it went. And I wasn't even devastated. Let me tell you what happened. The starting point guard they had was Mike James. They had another guard that just came from Spain called Jose Calderon. And the third guard was a guy named Alvin Williams. They keep three-point guards, right? Alvin Williams was a vet for the Raptors, and he was injured the last year and a half. So they were not sure if he was going to be able to be healthy this season to play. So let's put him on the side. Let's go this. Mike James, Jose Calderon. This guy right here, we're not sure if he's going to be healthy. Now, we're going to bring in three other guys. NBA veteran Robert Pack, a young NBA player who just finished playing with the Lakers the year before. His name is T.R. Brown. And let's bring in this guy we keep hearing about, this street ball guy. You know, this guy, Homicide, blah, 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 blah. So we're playing. This guy, Alvin Williams, he is not even practicing. Like, he probably got about $20 million left on his contract. He's injured. He's not even practicing. So we're in training, the rest of the team, and us three are trying. The best guy out of us three will get this third spot if doctors say he's not able to play. He's not healthy. So we're training, we play about, preseason games, 7 games, 8 games. But we played 5 games at this point, up to 5 games. The 5th game, Vince Carter had just got traded to New Jersey Nets. So he just came back to play in Toronto, so we're down 10 points, 5 minutes left. We got no playing time, none of us. He's still not playing. Coach calls a timeout. He subs all 3 of us in, because he figured you down 10 points, 5 minutes left, game over. Might as well. I felt it in there. I'm like, he didn't make any cuts yet. There's only like 3 games left. This has to be the game. They're going to have to start cutting players and sending us home, So I said, they bring all 3-point guards into the game. So I'm like, okay, we're all 3-point guards. We can't run to go. We all can't run to go bring the ball up. That looks crazy. Let me just go on the wing, whatever. The guy that ended up defending me, coach saw it. He's just like, timeout. Calls another timeout. We huddle up. He said, whoever, the guy was named, the player's name was Lamar Murray. He said, whoever Lamar Murray is guarding, give him the ball every time. The coach didn't like Lamar Murray because in the offseason when they traded Vince Carter, the player said, if this organization is that stupid to trade your franchise player, trade me too. So that's how, he was a former Raptor, that's how he got on New Jersey's team too. So that's why the coach was mad at that comment and said, whoever he's guarding, give them the ball. God was with me because he was guarding me. So every possession, they kept giving me the ball. So I had an opportunity to do my thing. I finished, not only did we go to overtime and win the game, I had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals.
That's a lot.
In 9 minutes. Remember, we got in the game with it was 4.5 minutes left, and we got 5 minutes extra for overtime. So in 9.5 minutes, that's what I had.
Did you score all the points?
I scored, no, not all of them. But I had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and we won.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty good.
The next morning, those players got cut. And it was just me. So the competition, I beat out. One guy was an NBA vet, and one guy played with the Lakers the year before, and he played with Houston the year before that. So these are guys with NBA experience. This is my first time getting a shot, and I beat the competition out. So now, Alvin is now trying to play. Doctor said he was able to play. I didn't make the team. So, was I sad? No. I wasn't sad because I beat out my competition. It's just a technicality. He's $20 million left on his contract. They're not going to move that for a guy Doctor said he can play. Okay, doctor. Okay, he's playing. So if the doctor said he was not able to play, I would have made the NBA. You get what I'm saying? So I walk away knowing I did my part. My competition got beat out. That's how I could walk away with my head up high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah. After NBA training camps and summer sessions in 2007, you headed to Australia. How much did you know about Australia in those days?
I didn't know anything. I knew that guards from New York City have had a good run in the NBL because it's an up and down league though. NBL is like the West Coast Conference. It's up and down, run and gun. So that's my style of play. So my agent said, look, Trevor Gleason I know because he was the coach of the Townsville Crocs. Trevor Gleason is the coach of the Perth Wildcats right now. The most winningest coach, the most successful coach in Perth Wildcats history was my coach when I first got here. And he said, I think you will do well here in this league. I said, okay. Came down and I hit the ground running. Literally, after 5 games playing in the NBL, the CEO of the team offered me a 2-year contract extension.
Oh,
yeah, so at the end of the season, I signed the 2-year extension. And the second season, we lost to go to the grand finals. It was a 3-game series. We lost game 3 to go to the grand finals. And then year 3, we lost 3-game series. We lost game 3 to go to the grand finals. I won MVP of the league that year. And I left, I went to Greece. I didn't get paid. I came back and I signed with the Melbourne Tigers for my 4th season. And after that, I only signed a 1-year deal. After that season, I left and went to the Middle East for 5 seasons and got an opportunity to get hired for this role right here in the NBL.
yeah.
And I've been here since.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
3 years in Townsville, 1 with the Tigers, all NBL selection in all 4 years, and league MVP in 2010. The man could really play, couldn't he?
You know what? I got lucky. I got lucky to be on a team and in a situation to showcase my ability. There's so many talented people that will never be in the right situation to show what they can do. So just real thankful for my teammates that, you know, the big guys that would set screens for me, rebound for me, my guards that would hit shots and, you know, pass the ball to me in the right situation. So I had a real good run in this league, but just really grateful for, you know, those opportunities because you think about it. I'm not Australian. I don't live in Australia. So back in those days, I had no idea I would be here right now doing what I'm doing. So it's very important to take advantage of every opportunity you get. Never look at a situation and say, whatever, I'll just wait for something else. That could be the opportunity that could change your life later.
Did you ever think of that doing
Never
this job?
thought of this. I just talk too much. So people are just like, you might be good on TV. You know, I was lucky again because of street basketball. I always had cameras following me. I was lucky enough to be endorsed by a sneaker company that gave me my own shoe called K1X. And they gave me the shoe called 187, which is the police code for homicide. So I had my own shoe sold in Foot Locker worldwide. And I was playing in my sneaker in the NBL.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I always had a camera crew following me. Summertime in New York, I always had a camera crew following me, recording me and documenting my summers playing. Street ball was big business back in the day. So I was ahead of the game being comfortable in front of the camera like this. I don't care if the camera's on. A lot of people get nervous. Oh my God, this is live. I'm not nervous. I'm more relaxed when the camera's on and off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is me all the time. So, you know, it was just a match made in heaven, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love being in front of the camera.
Yeah, you know, think about it. You know, so many people, oh my God, I'm nervous. What do I say? How do I look? Just relax. You know what I mean? Just relax. So, you know, some people have it. Most people don't. But you got a gift, kid. Keep honing that gift. You got a gift.
All right, thanks. When you were called by the GM of the NBL, Jeremy Low-Liga, to commentate, you were still playing. How hard was your decision to stay down under?
Well, I saw this opportunity, and at that point, my goal was always to play till I was 40. My goal was I'm going to play basketball professionally and get paid till I am 40 years old. At the time, I was 38. When I got the call, I was visiting, it was my off season, I was visiting my friend who lived in Melbourne. Started posting on social media, and NBL got wind of me being in Australia. It's like, they reached out. Homicide, you in Australia? I said, yeah. They said, what are you doing here? I said, look, I'm just training, hanging out with my mate. I'm waiting on my contract. I'm going back to the Middle East to play. So they said, look, while you're here, we would love for you to broadcast on the NBL game. So I'm like, I'm not a commentator. You know, I'm like, they're like, look, nah, we don't care. I said, I still play. They said, we don't care. I said, I'm leaving in like 2 weeks. I'm just waiting on my contract, and I'm off to Beirut. We don't care. We'd like to have you on air as long as we can have you. You're here, why not? I said, why me? Because I know there's a lot of former imports that are living in Australia permanently who've had just as much, or if not more, success than I have in this country. I said, why me? They said, your personality. People are drawn to you. Just try it. I said, fair enough.
So you tried it?
And I tried it, and I said to myself, this is an incredible opportunity. If you're going to do it, give 200%. You're not going to be here long, so you might as well dive all the way into it and see what can happen. Maybe down the road, you might be a broadcaster. It might work. You've had success in this country. You left the country on a positive. You have a fan base here. People are drawn to you here. Maybe it works. And you talk a lot anyway, so you might as well get paid to talk. If you talk a lot, the way I do. All right, cool. Sit down. I said, I'll be here for the 2 weeks. My team called me in Lebanon. I said, look, I'm up to something. Go grab another import. If he doesn't work out down the road, give me a call. I stayed here for 4 months.
Oh, yeah?
I pretty much did the whole season because I wanted to give myself the best opportunity. Again, at the end of the day, at night when you're brushing your teeth in your house, right? You're looking at yourself in the mirror. You want to make sure with whatever you do, at the end of the day, you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it all I had.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever want a sleepless night based on what ifs.
It's a great feeling.
Man, exactly. If you know you gave it all you had and it didn't work out, you could sleep at night. But if you know you had a golden opportunity and you wasted it because you didn't take advantage of it and you didn't give it all you had, for the rest of your life, you always think, man, I wonder if I would have done more. Would this have happened? You don't ever want that.
That's true. I don't want that.
Yeah, that's why I stood here for the 4 months. I'm like, well, you know, I think I could really do this full time. I could really do this. And then the following year, when the 4 months were finished, the guy in the Middle East, the team called me back because the guy he was no good. So I said, okay, I've done enough here. I think they know I have potential to do this full time. I went back, I went to Lebanon. And then the following year, they offered me a contract full time, and the rest is history.
Wow.
So think about this. Think about this. Imagine if I didn't take advantage of that opportunity. I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Thanks.
You're now an amazing commentator, and like your comments or not, people love your passion.
Like your comments or not, fair enough.
And honesty. So I have a few easy questions for you. Remember, we love your honesty.
Thank you. Okay. That means don't lie. Be honest. Keep that same energy. I got you.
What would you rather? Walk on hot jagged glass in bare feet or have lunch with the Perth Wildcat fans?
Have lunch with the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
On that.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Would you have made the NBL's All-Star 5 in the league now?
If I was like the prime Corey Homicide was 100%. Those guards too little. I'll just bully them. Get out of here. They too little.
Yeah, too
All
little.
of this, all these shoulders, me in shape. The 2007, 8, or 9 Homicide. First team All-NBL, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Did Did you have Andrew Bogut over for Christmas? And did he send you a Christmas card?
No, I didn't. One day we'll sit down and have a beer. He's a nice guy.
One day.
One day.
We know Bogut investigated you. Did you return the favour and send him free airline tickets to China?
Nah, not at all, man. But you know, that's the word on the street. I just know what I know. I just know what I've been told.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good. Well, Corey, you're the most amazing person. Your story is so incredible, it could be a movie. What you stand for is so motivational, and I have so much respect for the way you approach life. It's something we could all learn from. But Corey Homicide Williams, there is one thing I show everyone. See if you can slip it into one of your overtime segments or game time. Into the fight. Do you want to have a try?
Yeah.
I mean, can you try? Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, remember
Love your
that.
work, kid. Where you sit? Point.
Oh yeah.
Got
Nice
you.
point there.
Got you.
Yeah. Thank you, Homicide, for the interview. Don't go changing.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for your time. It was well worth it. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I think you're gonna be a star. I think you're gonna have a bright future. And where you're starting now to where you're gonna be, man, when you look back and you look at, see, the best thing that you're doing is you own your footage. This is your content. So when you become that big superstar anchor in whatever field you want to be in, because you're covering all sports, that's what's going to make you the most valuable out of everything. There's not a sport you cannot talk about. Keep that. That's the more you have in your arsenal, the more dangerous you are, the more of an asset that you are. So you keep that. Keep interviewing everybody. Keep reaching out to everybody, and keep your page and your content flowing with heat. Because all they're gonna say is, "Man, who the hell is this kid? Some kid want to interview me? Who is this kid?" Then they're gonna look. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh, wow. He got all these people? I gotta interview him." You get what I'm saying? So content is key. You have the content. Keep taking the photos. Keep doing your thing. Sky's the limit, bro.
All right.
All right?
Thanks again.
One more point.